YouTube, and welcome to watching my round 1 of my last OP06 local. I just lost a die roll going against a RP Law playing Gecko. Just since I'm going to be going first, I see that first turn Sindri, and I decide to keep and just relax and chill as my opponent mulligans and sets up for his turn.
Songs I used to sing play on the radio. The catchy choruses are all I know.
We always gotta start the video off with a fist bump and turn 1 playing Sindri just to see what I get for my trash. This will tell me a lot on how this game is going to go, and I do see a Perona, which is a good sign for me, and I believe my opponent just passes, going to my 3 Dawn turn. Right here I think, oh perfect, getting another 2k to hand. Love to see a lot of variety in the hand, so I use this ability just to keep milling to set up my trash and bring out the Perona. So my opponent needs to pitch a card, which he pitches to Robin, and he takes that life.
Sink into the emptiness. Orange summer breeze. The unlived experience.
And here my opponent decides to swing 7 with his leader, which I love to see. I'll just take him not developing his board, but he does something that is pretty crazy. He plays Gordon, minusing my Perona, and he Dawn minuses 3, which in my opinion is pretty early, but you can see here that he plays the Sachi and Penguin to re-ramp the 2 Dawn to get him back on tempo.
Dreams and bills and what I want to leave behind.
And this is a perfect turn. With 5 Dawn, I play brand new to look at the top 3, whiffing on the Navy, but it's okay. I'm able to swing 6 at life using this ability again. Just pitching a card that I don't need at this moment, so I decide to let go of, let's see, of the Hogback, I'm hoping. What is going on? Oh, okay. I let go of the Perona mill 2, and I bring back the Perona. So I'm being hyper aggressive here. I definitely think that was the incorrect play. I think I should have played the Hogback to be able to get a Gecko. But I also see that I'm at 5 Dawn going to 7, and with RP Law being such a fast aggro deck, it might not be beneficial to play on tempo at 9. So let's see if I made a misplay or if that was the right call. And my opponent starts off with swinging 5 at Sachi and Penguin, which I take. And then he swings 6. And then I'm looking at my hand and I'm realizing I don't have a 2k counter. So I'm regretting just taking such a hit nonchalantly with the 5. But that's okay. He plays a Mr. Toot, ramping a Dawn. With that extra Dawn, he plays Otama, minusing 2k to the Perona, and he Dawn minuses 3 again. But he has another Sachi Penguin, so he's able to be so aggressive, but at the same time being able to stay within a solid amount of Dawn. So he's able to follow up and continue to build board and be very aggressive.
The catchy choruses are all I know.
I'm just counting my Dawn out. I have 7 Dawn. I just kind of want to test the waters and swing 5 into that Sachi Penguin just to see if he lets it go or protects it. He just lets it go here. And right here I just do a simple 5, hoping that he takes it so it's easy for me to set up, or perfect, he counters with a 2k, and I know he's very low on hand size, so I just sabo, and I just want to pitch the non-counters out of my hand. I'm just thinking what to pitch, so I pitched the hog back. Definitely feel like that was a weak turn. Not able to remove any of his body other than swinging 5. But I just was able to play the Sabo just to cycle my hand. And I see he does have a handful of Dawn. And he's swinging with these magic numbers. So he starts out with swinging 7. I'm looking at my hand, and I'm just a little nervous. Do I pitch 2 cards, or do I take? I decide to take here and pick up a non-counter Sakazuki. He swings a 5, so he's only asking for a single card, which is very easy for me to give him a 1k. But I don't know if I want to give him the Sabo because I want a Sabo again, or if I should give him the Brook because I want to hold on to him just to remove. But I just counter out with the Brook just because I'd rather be a little bit more defensive. He dawns 1 to the Brook, copying my Sabo's attack, and he's swinging another 7 at my face. I'm just looking, and I'm doing the math right now, seeing how much Dawn active he has, and if he decides to swing 2 Kitten Killers, do I have it? Which I do. So I just block and give him a 2k. If he decides to Kid Killer me, or I'm more than happy to take this, because I don't think there's much that he can really do here. I just take it. Dawn minuses to remove the brand new, and he plays another Kid Killer with 1 card in hand. And very easy, I just give him 2 cards, a 2k and a 1k. Just because I don't feel like I feel like I have to go for a game. He has a full board. There's nothing I can really do. So I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just counting the math. He has 1 card in hand, so a 7 is a guarantee. So the line that I decide to go is making sure he doesn't have a 2k. I swing 7 with Sindri first, which he takes. From here, and he has 2 cards. I'm hoping one's a brick. Swing another 7, which he takes, and I jam for 8, and he shows me a 1k and 2 bricks, and that was GG. And here we go for round 2, Gecko Moria mirror match. And we're off, and we start off with that classic fist bump. My opponent decided to go first, and he dawns 1 and passes, which is kind of odd to me. I thought turn 1 Sindri was going to come down, but he must have something really good in his hand. I'm brand new, and I'm able to pick up a Borsalino, and I pass. And it's really nice because I do see that I have a Perona in trash, so I can do that on my follow-up turn. And right here, my opponent swings 6, uses Gecko Moria ability, but pitches a Sabo. And he decides to use Sindri off of that to mill 5. Which this gives me a little, I'm a little concerned. It shows that, you know, his early game isn't that strong, but this is kind of telling me that he kept a really strong hand. So I am thinking that he might have a Gecko Moria in his hand already set up. So I'm just needing to be a little bit more aggressive in my head and do my best to fight for board. Or I'm just gonna get geckoed and not have a good time. So I just swing a solid 7 because I'm gonna use my ability, pitching a hog back, thinking about bringing that hog back so I can grab a gecko, which I do. Grabbing a gecko and returning those other 2 cards just in case if I want to keep that Perona. Just keep it just in case I want to make him pitch a card the following turn, or you know, if I'm able to recur it back to my hand by playing a Rebecca just to grab a 2k. It's a pretty solid card. going back to my opponent's turn, it's 5 Dawn. So he swings another 6 using ability, which at 2k, which he doesn't use his ability. I misspoke. Borsellino is always pretty strong in the mirror match just because it's a body that can't be KO'd. I'm just looking at my hand. My 6th Dawn turn, I just swing 5, seeing if he's going to block with his Borsellino. And he takes. No trigger. Using Gecko ability. Pitching a hog back. Bringing that hog back. No, okay. My initial thoughts, I was gonna hog back and add the Perona, but I guess I just played Perona to make him pitch a card. So from there, I got 2 cards. I was able to develop a body and take 2 cards from his hand. And then from here, it looks like I swing 6, just so if he does decide to block, he will need to give me at least a card from his hand. Which he does. He blocks and gives me a 1. I'm looking at my hand. It's pretty solid. My Gecko Moria turn isn't looking as good just because my trash isn't as developed as my opponent's. So I'm just thinking, I was like, maybe there's certain cards I might have to start to consider to be able to pitch, to be able to set up my Gecko Moria turn. How can I best play my Gecko Moria turn where I'm able to get the best amount of value, or if I'm able to remove my opponent's board. So those are the kind of thoughts that are going through my head right now. As my opponent thinks on 7 Dawn. I'm not quite sure what he is planning to do. He has his Dawns kind of separated, like 5 to the side with 2 up. So in my head, I'm like, is he gonna swing 7, play a Sabo? I already saw him pitch a Sabo, so I was just thinking on what he was going to do. He decides to Hina my Perona, and he decides to swing 6 into... No, he decides to swing 7 into my hog bag using ability. Pitching a Absalon, milling another Absalon to KO my Perona. So, and my hand size is pretty good, but I don't want to get rid of any cards, and I'm thinking about doing a Gecko Moria next turn anyways, so I just let it go. And he passes. I was really hoping that he would just swing into my brand new, so when I do my Gecko Moria turn, I can at least get some value off of that card. But he doesn't. I'm looking at the 6 cost Sakazuki, and it looks like I have a lot of different options in my hand. I don't have to just play my Gecko Moria for the tempo play, just because my trash isn't looking as good. A couple things I was considering is maybe going for board, playing that Sakazuki, or just playing blockers actually. Maybe playing my Sabo just to see what kind of cards I can cycle. My opponent is at 3 life and I'm at 4, and he only has 3 cards in hand. But I do have a bigger hand size, but his board is more developed than mine, so I'm not quite sure what I should really do. So I swing 5 just to test the water. He obviously blocks, and I'm just like, oh shoot. Well, at this point, in my head, I'm watching the stream back. I'm like, I think Gecko Moria might be the best move here. I'm a liar. I swing 5 because it was rested, and then I play Sakazuki. I believe I KO the Hina, just because it didn't really matter, but I decided to KO the Hina just because I don't want him to bring back the Absalon. And I pitched the Rebecca just in case I want to grab it back with the Gecko, the follow-up turn. Not a super strong play, but I'm able to develop a 6 cost 7k Sakazuki, and then next turn I'll be at 10 Dawn, and we'll go from there. Try to fix the glare, but unsuccessful, as you can see. I think a brand new's bald head is just too shiny. Unfortunate. My opponent is thinking he only has 4 cards in hand, and with 2 life. He does have, in my opinion, a better board, and I feel like my opponent is trying to starve me out since he isn't really going for my life. Hate to see it. He finds his Hina. I haven't seen my Hinas this game, so I was just like really sad. I was like, oh man, I wish I had a reducer where I could develop a body as well as minus the cost of a character. And he swings, I believe he swings 7. Bringing that Absalom back, that's already in his trash. Makes me sad. And let's see, he swings 7 to my face. I get a nice blocker. And he swings 4 into my brand new, which is kind of perfect. I didn't have a 2 cost card in my trash for me to be able to bring back, so I think brand new would be a really great option for me to be able to recur from the Gecko play. I swing 7 just to see what he's gonna do, if he's gonna block, because I already made up my mind. I'm gonna Sakazuki, or I'm gonna Gecko. So in my head, I'm just doing a value play. So I pick up a 2k with the brand new with Rebecca. I want to add another 2k, and I was looking for my Perona, which I pick up, and thinking about using the ability. I thought I had a Brook in my hand, but I guess I didn't, so I just pass. So it's just ultimately a value play. It wasn't really a strong play for where I was able to remove a lot of cards on board. Ultimately, I didn't have any 2Ks in hand, so I thought this was a great opportunity to replenish my card hand size. So my opponent decides to turn up, and starting with a 7k swing, which I decide to take, and then he swings another 7k, which is a good sign for me initially, because I'm like, oh, he's not planning on playing Gecko with 6 Dawn up. So I don't want to bleed too quickly, so I give him a Tsuru, which I know that he saw that I got off the searcher. And I'm just doing the math. I'm just looking at the cards in hand. I'm holding the Helmeppo, Brook, and Absalom with the Ice Age, because I pitched the Absalom because I can grab it from trash. But I'm really thinking about saving the Brook, Helmeppo, Ice Age, because I'm going to remove 2 bodies, hopefully 3 when I swing into it. Next turn. So I'm just thinking ahead and just trying to be very careful on what I pitch, because I'm going to be really sad if I pitch the wrong card, and I'm unable to follow up on the clapback. So when he swings 5, I just pitch a Borsellino. But my whole, and then he swings at the brand new, which I'm like, oh, that's okay. And then my whole plan just kind of gets ruined by 1 card, Sabo. My opponent decides to play Sabo, so my plan to remove his whole board just goes down the drain. I can't. I can't do anything, so super sad. Just drawing a Isho, one of the tech cards that I'm trying out for this EP set. Something that I'm thinking about also carrying over in OP07. So I start with a swing of a Gecko Moria to, I believe, leader. I'm just thinking about it. I was like, okay, let's swing face. He has 1 life, so I'm starting to think maybe I can just push him down to 0. He has 4 cards in hand, so if he does counter, it's gonna be a lot of cards, or he can just block. But he goes down to 0. And I'm just thinking, I'm at 2 life. I do have a decent amount of counter in hand. So if you can't, counter out of a 9, let's do another 9. I use ability, and I just pitch the Isho brick. I'm not gonna use it anytime soon. And I'm just honestly looking for a hog bag here to be able to bring a 2k, which I see. So I play hog bag, bringing back the Perona, just because he is pretty wide on his board. And I don't want to just not have the counter in hand. This is kind of crazy. He gives me 3 cards to counter out 9k. So I just set up my own Borsalino and I pass. And I do believe this is my opponent's final turn. I have 3 2Ks in hand. I have the only non-counter in my hand is the Ice Age, so I am pretty comfortable with 2 life and 2 blockers on board. I'm just looking at my hand. Just in my head, I'm just trying to calculate what's the best way for my opponent to go for lethal. So after my opponent thinks for a while, he decides to Ice Age my my Rebecca, and this really confuses me, just because I feel like it was a misplay, but I don't know what's in my opponent's hand. So he took some time to think about this move. He Ice Ages and he swings 5 with his Absalon. And at this point, I'm really confused. I asked him, you Ice Age my Rebecca and you're swinging 5? I was like, he must be cooking something. Just because, I feel like the Rebecca is just so vulnerable. I just let it go. I just block, just so I can get some value off of it. Personally, I feel like he should have swung 5 first, just to get a reaction, then Ice Age and leader ability, and hopefully was able to KO my Rebecca, but that wasn't the case. He just swung 5, so I just blocked. Just thinking about his next move. Thinking about these magic numbers. He starts off with a 7 at me. I do have 3 2Ks. I just decided to take, just to see what other cards I can get, and it's another 2K, which is good. I'm just doing the math real quick. I was like, he's doing another 7. I'm gonna lose a lot more cards if I just take this life and he decides to jam. So I just pitched 2 cards now. I'm at 5. My opponent has decided to go for it. He's doing another 7, which I take. I didn't have to, but I wanted to take just so my opponent commits and swings the Sabo. Makes my math easy. I block, let that go, he swings another 7, and I just gave him a 2 and a 1, and he passes. And right here, I'm just setting up. I'm gonna swing 18, and we call it GG's. And going to round 3, I won the die roll, so I decided to go second. Luckily, my mulligan hand looks pretty solid with the turn 2 play. The moment my opponent placed injury, I just knew what kind of game it was going to be. They found a lot of their pieces in their trash, and I was like, I'm in trouble. I played the brand new. I had 2 choices, the Sakazuki or the Isho. Both no counters, but I can pitch both. I decided to pick up the Sakazuki because my opponent can play around the Isho pretty well. And I rather, if I could, play Gecko on curve versus playing an Isho in hopes that I'm able to pull 2 cards in hand. So my opponent swings for 6 using ability, pitching a hog bag milling 2. And they decide to play Perona, telling me to discard a card. So I pitch an Absalon and take this life, getting a perk. Reason why I'm pitching an Absalon, just to set up my trash for future. The one great thing about Gecko is when I counter with the Thriller Bark cards, I'm always able to bring it back. I wasn't sure what was strong play would be. My opponent had 4 cards in hand, so I swung 5. If they decide to counter out to play around the Perona play, I was going to play a Borsalino blocker. If they decide to take this hit, I'm going to play the Perona. Which, boop, he decides to take, and he needs to pitch a card, and we have a good laugh. They're going to 5 Dawn, they draw. Pretty solid play. They brand new, looking at top 3, and I believe they grabbed the Ice Age. Their deck is so blinged out, it looks really nice to look at. Versus my base rare deck, which gets the job done. So they sit here and they think about it, and they grab the Ice Age. And with 3 Dawn up, I just suspect them to use their leader ability to continue to expand board. Asking how many cards in hand. I have 5. They swing 6 using their ability. Yeah, I'm just thinking about what cards to discard, just because they asked how many cards were in my hands. I don't know if I want to pitch the Sakazuki versus holding it for a follow-up play, but instead they do something pretty strong. Instead of playing another Perona, they decide to play Absalon, returning 2 cards and getting a Gecko into their hand. And I don't even think I have a Gecko so I'm like, okay, whatever. They swing 6. I almost started, but they swing 6. I just take. And they pass. Oh, they don't pass. They're thinking about if they want to swing at the Perona, but they decide not to. So I'm on 6 Dawn. And ideally, I would like to Hina here, be able to swing 6, pop a card by developing 2 bodies, but I don't have that option. unfortunately I don't have a Hina to be able to minus 4 to a character. So I'm just thinking about what the best option I have here. Could I swing 6, use ability, play another body, and then maybe KO something with a Brook? I don't know. So I'm just thinking what my best line is, or maybe I should just play Sakazuki straight up. Swing 5 just to see what they do. And they know that I have the Sakazuki in hand, so maybe they think I'm gonna play the Sakazuki, but I think I'm being sneaky here, so and I decided to play the Brook over the Absalon, just because that Brook does have a -1 ability. And I'm just debating if I want to play the Sentry just to set up my trash, just because I don't have much of anything in there, so a little stressed. So for me to have a strong Gecko play, I'm just gonna Sentry. So I'm able to find some pieces. The only issue is I also need a Gecko, find a Gecko Moria to be able to have that play as well. So 3 life, 1 2k. My opponent has not the greatest board, but I know that they have an Ice Age in hand as well as a Gecko Moria. So on their Dying Dawn turn, it's going to be pretty scary. And unlike my trash, their trash is pretty well set up, where they're able to find a lot of pieces. They swing their Hog back into my Corona, which I countered for 1. Which I think that was incorrect. I should have just let it go to force my opponent to start swinging at my face. But I decided for them to be able to protect this this character, just because if they do swing into my face, like, I don't want to take too much damage as well, just because of the lack of cards in my hand. So they swing 5 with the brand new, and I just let it go. With my opponent at 5 Dawn, and them swinging 5 without using a leader ability, makes me think, they're gonna play that Sabo. And I was able to find a Gecko Moria in life, so that was very reassuring for me to see. Just because my other one's in trash, I know my opponent has a Gecko Moria as well. So we'll see what I do with that later. So I'm at 8 Dawn, and I start off with swinging Helmet Bone 2 brand new. I'm just looking at what my best options are. Let's see, separating 3 and 5. Maybe I'm thinking about using my leader ability to bring back a card from my trash and playing 5. Would that be a Sabo in my hand? Okay, I don't even have a Sabo, so So let's see what ibuprofen TCG decides to do. Decides to swing 7 into the hogback that's rested, discarding a card, discarding Rob Lucci, which is fantastic, being able to play that on the follow-up with Gecko Moria. And I think this is a misplay. I decide to play a Perona, asking my opponent to pitch a card. I think the better play would have been to grab a Gecko Moria, so I'll be able to double Gecko in my future turns. But I decide to play a Perona, swing 7, they block. I'm just thinking. I have 4 active Dawn. Initially, I think I was going to play the blocker, Borsellino, or maybe play the Hogback straight up so I can grab a card from my trash. But I'm low on life, low on can counter. I think I decide to do something a little crazy here. And my caveman brain decides to swing 8 into the Sabo, not even using the Brooks ability to KO the Sindri, just for value. I don't know what ibuprofen TCG is thinking. I think this was a pretty weak play. Pretty sad looking back at this footage, but being able to justify my thought process was just being able to clear board with a lot of little bodies. And we'll see how my opponent decides to respond. If they decide to swing 5 into my 4-cost Brook, and I give them a 2k. Just because I don't have a lot of counter in my hand, I think my thought process is wanting them to swing at my board, which I think that's incorrect here. Just because they do decide to swing another 5, and I just have to give it away because I'm unable to protect it because I don't have another 2k in hand. Right here, they swing at my Helmeppo, and now they are able to play their Gecko Moria. And they want to look what's in my trash, and I think they want to see what I can do with my Gecko Moria turn, to see what he can bring out on his Gecko Moria to get the most value. So it's a very solid move, just looking at the trash and seeing what my outs are. And I think after some consideration, they are thinking about playing Rob Lucci as well as Helmeppo. So they Helmeppo the Perona, and I'm just juggling cards. Some miscommunication, but got rid of the brand new, got rid of the Perona. Leaving me with 4 cards in hand. And that Sakazuki that I picked up early has just been sitting in my hand. I feel like I should have discarded it a long time ago, but we'll see. Sindri on Sindri violence. Love to see it. I think here I thought I might still have the Tsuru to -2, so I can just pop their Gecko Moria, but didn't have it, so I'm just doing my best to do some damage control. Swing 7 and then play my Gecko Moria. 2 -3 to their stuff, and I KO 2 of their things. I'm -3 using Helmeppo, their Lucci, and I play my Lucci to KO the Lucci and the Sentry on board as well. And I pass, leaving up a Gecko, which is pretty scary. My opponent starts off with a solid 5k swing with leader, and they swing with Gecko Moria, which I take. Counter the 5, take the 9, and they double Ice Age. They Ice Age my Gecko Moria as well as my Lucci, and they Helmeppo my Gecko Moria, Lucci carrying both. At this point, they're at 3 life, and I am cooked. Not in a really good position here. I draw. I have 10 Don. And I just say here, just quick 3 to 3. And I'm looking at my hand, and my options are very limited. My opponent has 1 card in hand. I have 1 life. There's no way that I can go for game this turn, and my best bet would be to go for, I would say, another turn. So I swing 9 at the Gecko Moria, and this is the only way I can really survive, and they just counter 1. Okay, so hear me out. I decided to keep this hand just because of the potential. I have a great Gecko Moria, I have a Brook. I do have 2 break cards each show, but the reason why I kept this hand is because I have a Sindri to mill the top 5 cards, and I'm banking that I'm going to hit some bangers, and I'm going to pitch these e-shows to be able to bring out the cards that I pull from Sindri. I do understand it is not guaranteed, and seeing a Gecko Moria as your first card draw is not ideal, but right here I do see some cards that I'm looking for. So I'm able to find a Corona in my trash, and it's a great opportunity for me to pitch an e-show to be able to pull that out. But I have 0 counter in hand. Besides that Berg. I start off with a swing of 5, I take. And they play Shiraya and pass. Okay, so I'm at 4 Dawn, swing 7. I'm drawing into all my counters, so not too bad. I asked how many cards my opponent has, and they have 5 exactly, so I play Corona, asking them to pitch a card. So far, not too bad. I do have a lot of bricks in hand, but I am drawing into a lot of these pieces with counters, so in my head at this very moment, I think I'm chilling. But we'll see how this game turns out. Fantastic having 4 bricks. Swinging 5. Which I counter with that Absalon. Didn't expect my opponent to swing with the Shiraya. But, you know, looking at my hand, I just decided to take, which is another Gecko Warrior. So I have 3 Gecko Warrior in hand with 1 Isho. In any other matchup, this would have been fantastic, but I am starting to realize that I might not live to my turn, my 8th Dawn turn, to be able to play any of these. So my opponent plays Gordon, minusing my Perona, using the ability, bottom decking my Perona to be able to play a Mr. 2 Bonk Clay. Oh, I apologize. With 4 Dawn, they play Bonk Clay, then Dawn minus to play the Rager to draw cards. Okay, to get to that 5 card threshold. I misspoke. Right here, I'm just going to -1 to the Shiraya. Just try and get a body on board. Swinging 6 at leader. Pitching a card. Pitching those dead cards to be able to bring back the Absalon to KO it too. So I'll KO that blocker that's vested. And return 2 of my bricks. That Isho and Ice Age that I can't get back in time. I'm at 3 life, I have 3 bodies, my trash is pretty solid. Just I have nothing but bricks at this moment. My opponent counters from my 6k attack. Now I have 3 geckos with 1 cruise on and 1 2k. So they start with a 5, which I'm really debating here to counter with my Sindri. But I just decide to take to see what I can get. And they swing another 5, I give them the brand new. And because I went down to 2, I understand that Kid Killer is active now, but based on my hand situation, I don't think I got much of a choice. So my opponent plays Kid. Dawn minus is 3, bottom decking my Sindri. Then my opponent plays Sachi Penguin plus 2. Gets an extra 1 from the Kid that's active. They're gonna Dawn 1 and swing 6 into my life, which I'm kind of with that 2k that I was saving. Kind of sad that they bottom decked my Sindri, because I want to swing that into the Bonk Clay. Right now I'm just thinking, what's the best move? I just drew a Lucci, so if I could, I would love to get that in trash so I can pull it back from the Gecko Warrior, but it's whatever. I'm just swinging, I'm just poking at the Raiju, seeing if they take or if they block, so if they just take, let the Raiju go. And right here, I just Gecko Warrior for 8. For my pieces, I Helmepo minusing 3 into that Kid, and I do have another Absalon, so I'll KO that Kid. I'm just explaining the ordering that I did to my opponent. Playing the Helmepo, minusing 3, and then playing Absalon. Being able to KO that. Returning 2 these wonderful cards into my deck. And then swinging 4 into the Bonk Clay. in my head, this seems like a very strong play. If I didn't have any counters in my hand, I would feel very confident on this stage. So at this time, I'm just banking that my opponent goes for board versus swinging face. You guys see how many cards in hand? I got 4 non-counters. Starts off with the 7, which, I look at my hand to see my options, which I got none. I take 1k counter. That's cool. Got my opponent thinking. I bet he's thinking, wow, this guy's crazy. He's just taking life like you got no counter in hand. Spoiler alert. I don't got no counter in hand. Swings another 7, which I take. And I know I've just had that gut feeling that a Kid Killer's gonna come down, swing for 9. Thought -3, putting back the Hell Repo. And Kid Killer, swinging 10. And I show him the 2 counter that came from my life and show him all bricks in my hand and boop, GG. All good, let's hit it.
If you pull it, I'm keeping this field, bro.
I mean,
Wait, are you filming?
No. It's over.
Oh, bit's over? Uta, Luffy.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kevin here. I'm here with Ibuprofen PVG. Little behind the scenes look at how the content is created.
Oh, shoot. It's a leader pack. Punk Gibson solid.
Where you need that Luffy?
Oh, it's another leader pack. Oh, did I just pick up all the leader packs? Oh, depression.
we believe in you, Ibuprofen.
Oh, this is brutal.
You got 2 packs left.
I got two more packs. Oh,
here we go.
okay.
Come on, Zoro, one time.
Zoro. Come on.
Brian, get on this side, brother.
No, I don't want to see this.
Zoro. I don't want to see King.
Y'all ready?
Maybe.
Come on.
Oh!